Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this PodCats episode. I'm Remington Yates. Alongside me is Coach Erickson, the lacrosse coach here at Culver Stockton. Coach Erickson, you are in your third year here at Culver Stockton College. That's correct?
That is correct.
You were named the inaugural coach in 2018. June, I believe, is when they made the announcement that they'd be adding lacrosse to Culver Stockton.
Yeah, that's when they made the announcement. I was hired in November.
Okay. So you are a Chicago native who played 3 years of field hockey?
I use Chicago loosely just because if you ask somebody from Chicago where I'm actually from, they're going to say you're not from Chicago. But in relative terms, yes. So I'm actually from a small town called Lindenhurst, Illinois. It's on the border of Illinois and Wisconsin, a little bit closer to Lake Michigan.
You attended Antioch Community High School there, from what I've read?
Yes. I played, and sports-wise, I did play 3 years of field hockey, also 4 years of softball.
And so you were named coach, and you are now in your second full season of lacrosse. How do you think your season has gone so far this year?
My girls are working really hard every single day. I'm comparing everything to last year, right? Because we really have to focus on comparing our past selves instead of comparing ourselves to other teams, since we are a growing program. So compared to last year, we're on track to exceeding last year's stats and everything like that. I won't necessarily say records because we still have 4 games to play and anything can happen. But so far we're doing good. Like our offense, hearing outside comments like our offense is much more organized, our defense is more organized. We have had solid goalkeeping all throughout the year, whether it was Melanie Sanchez or now Autumn Lesher. So far I'm really happy with the process and everything that the girls have put into this season so far.
You just came off of a win on March 27th against the University of St. Mary in Leavenworth, Kansas, a 19-8 victory. And now this Friday we have a game. Midland University comes here to face us. How are you feeling about that game?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about every game because every team in this conference has the capability of doing great things. Last year we went to Midland and the game didn't go in our favor. I think we learned a lot from that game, but Midland's they're a tough defensive team. They're aggressive. And, I'm just looking forward to seeing how our girls rise to that adversity.
And after the Midland game this Friday, only 3 games left, all 3 conference. How do you feel about us closing out in the conference?
Well, I love the fact that the next 3 of the 4 games are at home. I think that's a good outlook for us. Ottawa, they're a tough team. They're always aggressive. Same thing with Missouri Baptist. They're number 8 in the NAIA right now. They're always a tough team, really talented players. And then same thing with William Penn. We've only played both them and Midland and Ottawa once ever last year, and every single one of them put up a fight. So it's just honestly it's anybody's game any given playing day. So
absolutely. And like you said, Missouri Baptist ranked 8th. Ottawa University is receiving votes in the NAIA. So some very tough teams in the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference here. Back to you played 3 years field hockey. Then you would play for the Windy City Field Hockey Club for a season, and then you would go to St. Charles to attend Lindenwood University.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I started playing field hockey my sophomore year of high school. One of those things where my friend told me to come play it with her, and then I actually ended up sticking it out longer than she did. And had a great senior season, and within that senior season decided to play for a club team that was going to travel to a tournament, one of the largest field hockey tournaments in the country at the time. And there were lots of college coaches that were going to be there. Didn't even have an idea that I wanted to play in college. Like, I just wanted to get better at field hockey that season. And it was on that trip that I decided to play. And it was kind of one of those things where I met the coach at Lindenwood and I went for a visit, and that's how it happened. So that's how I got to Lindenwood.
So then after the Lindenwood, you kind of coached in Lindenwood University in Belleville, Illinois, and field hockey. You coached both lacrosse and field hockey?
I did. So actually, after my undergrad, I was a graduate assistant coach for the Lindenwood and St. Charles, that field hockey team, for 2 years, as they were making that transition to Division II. So I had my a little bit of a coaching experience, and then I took a hiatus. I thought for some reason that I wanted to work in the landscaping industry because my best friend did. But then the opportunity to work at Lindenwood Belleville, the sister school, which was, honestly, like a really good opportunity for me, because I absolutely loved my experience at Lindenwood as an undergrad and graduate student. And so working for that system was ideal for me. But yes, I started, I was the field hockey and lacrosse coach at Lindenwood Belleville. And then I want to say it was spring of 2018, they made the unfortunate decision to cut field hockey. There are no other schools in the NAIA that have field hockey. We're no other schools. So it really didn't make sense anymore. They were just we were playing any team that we could possibly get our hands on. So it gave me the opportunity to focus more on lacrosse and recruit, better for just the lacrosse team there.
And so before you came to Culver, you were the director of St. Louis Lacrosse, which offered lacrosse leagues each summer, fall, and winter season in the St. Louis area. Well, so
yes,
tell me about that. How did that really help you learn a lot more about lacrosse? Because it seems like you played a lot of field hockey and it made a transition to lacrosse, as it seems.
So that really wasn't what kind of helped me learn more about lacrosse. What helped me learn more was getting myself out there over the summers to coach camps and clinics and learn from higher level coaches. So I go to at least one Division I school camp every single year and learn from high level coaches, and really diving into, podcasts and webinars. COVID really helped me focus on gaining my knowledge in lacrosse as well. I'm always seeking constant education on the game because it's growing all the time. What the St. Louis Lacrosse League did for me was it helped me build my my network in St. Louis. It's how I got to know a lot of the high school and club lacrosse coaches in the area, that in also coaching club lacrosse for a one of the longest lacrosse clubs in St. Louis down there. So really that's kind of, I focus on that. And then of course, growing the game down there, making sure girls have plenty of opportunities. So a lot of girls who play in the St. Louis Lacrosse League, sometimes they can't, afford or really have the time to play club lacrosse or anything like that. So it gives me the opportunity to help guide them and help work with them a little bit more too, especially the underdeveloped players.
That's very good. Yeah, because I can kind of seen how your network grows. I got to talk to one guy from a Benedictine game where he used to coach lacrosse. And he talked highly of you and everything. So definitely you kind of network out there. So lacrosse is still new for a lot of people here in Canton, Missouri, and in Culver, Stockton. What would you say to a lot of those people who know nothing of lacrosse but yet want to learn it?
Come to our games, and every chance you get every chance you get, if you get any opportunity to watch lacrosse live on TV or recorded, please do, because it helps get the views up and it helps grow the game nationally. And it helps ESPN and everything like that say, hey, like people are actually interested in lacrosse, so we're going to air it a little bit more, and that's going to help us just grow the game even faster. So watch it. If you look up rules, make sure you look up rules for 2022, because the rules change every single year, at least some of them do. And like I said, like go to as many games as you possibly can. That's one of the reasons why I think we have a really high attendance, especially for our weekday games when our students are on campus, is because not many people know much about lacrosse. So they see, the occasional check, they see the occasional girl, fall down, and they get excited, even though it's not supposed to be like a really physical sport like that. They still get excited, and every time we score a goal, whether we lose the game or whether we win the game, like that support is there just because they're excited to see our girls play, and they're excited to learn the rules and everything like that.
I mean, definitely one of the big things happened this year. A record was broke, 7 goals in a single game. But tell us about that. What was your reaction to that when that happened?
And the girls will probably laugh at me for saying this, but my reaction wasn't necessarily about the record being broken or anything. Overall, like that particular game, we had a lot of girls who had a lot of high scoring opportunities, and they took them. So I was more happy that we were able to capitalize on what we've been working on with individual players. So whether it's continuing the drive through or taking a shot when they get the chance. I try not to focus on statistics as much as it's great, but it is, at the end of the day, like the goal is like to get better and to win the game. So if we're doing what we need to do for our team to win those games, then I'm going to be a little bit more excited about that. But now I'm just looking for someone to break that record again, though, because I think it would be just kind of something cool every single year to see, whether it's the assist record or the draw control record or goals saved in a game record. I think that's just an attribute of our team getting better, which is really awesome to see.
And definitely, I mean, everyone I've talked to have said your team has definitely gotten so much better, and it's just going to constantly improve because you're still such a young program. How does it feel having to start up this program from absolute scratch and build it up throughout the years?
It feels good. It feels good. I will admit there are some days where I'm like, why aren't we here? Why aren't we at this level? Why are we still here? Or whatever it is. And I have to remind myself and the girls that it's all part of the process, and we are getting better. We're closing the gap on teams that we've played in the past and making it more of a competition, making games more competitive for teams that play us, which is a true testament to the hard work the girls are putting into practice and into those games. It's been a grind. I would say if I go a week without talking to a recruit or something, I feel like I'm not doing my job. Recruiting is a huge aspect to the growth of this team. And every single year except for the first year, we've had at least 8 to 11 come in, sign to our team. So the team's been growing in that aspect. This year we currently have 8 signed to come in next year, and I'm looking for about 2 to 4 more, which I think will help because we'll be losing 5 girls next year due to either graduating early or, believe it or not, their senior season.
And to speak about that, recruits, do you think we've got any exciting new recruits coming in next year? Are there any that we need to watch out for possibly next year?
I think we have a good kind of balanced class. I don't like to put the spotlight on anybody just because you never know what could happen. But I think we have a pretty good balanced class. We have a very high offensive recruiting class coming in. as well as another goalie, and then a defender and a midfielder. So always looking to improve that offense, and then just get a couple more hopefully defenders in there too.
Well, Coach Erickson, this has been such a great conversation with you. I thank you for joining me here today. And we're going to be so excited to see the end of this season and next season, of course. And of course, remember, ladies and gentlemen, Friday, we got a game here. Coach Erickson, what time is that game to Friday?
It is at 5 o'clock, right after the Wildcat Day on the quad.
So definitely everyone tune into the Wildcat Network to watch that game. Again, I've been Remington Yates, Coach Erickson joining me for this interview. This has been the PodCats episode. Thank you all for joining. Goodbye.